Wedding speeches need to be banned. I don't want to sit through 40 minutes of people saying how much they love each other, how much they wanted the other person, how much they watched the other person grow up, or reliving all their inside jokes, all while crying. Stop it. Do it in private. Just say congrats and get on with it. If you insist on having wedding speeches, please vet them and have them vetted by someone you trust. I have heard some awful speeches that were inappropriate / too long, etc. My first thought is, I hear this complaint often, and as someone who's filmed over 100 weddings, where are people hearing 40-minute speeches?
Yeah.
It's like 20 minutes tops, and that's when 5 or 6 people speak.
Yeah, okay, but like the person who wrote this is anonymous, but their username is Bug Power Dust. So let that one sink in. I want you to just let that, it is what it is.
Yeah,
there.
40 minutes of speeches. I have never seen anything close to that.
And okay. Okay. Oh, this makes me mad. I'm going to get mad for like 3 seconds and then I'm going to be done. Okay. They're going to cry and tell each other how much they meant to each other and all of that. If you don't want to be there, leave. If you don't want to watch people talk about how important they are to each other, if that doesn't touch your heart, go do something else.
Yeah, there's usually like a couple yard games set up somewhere. Go play games or get on your phone. No one's watching you. Make sure you watch the speeches.
Nobody freaking cares. And if you're the asshole who's mad that somebody is having somebody tell them how much they love them, then it probably doesn't bother you that much that you would be the asshole on your phone as well. Like, just like if you don't want to be okay, 40-minute speech, that's excessive. Yeah. But we've never seen a 40-minute speech.
Or even like, 40 minutes of speeches.
Yep. Typically it's like 5 to 10 minutes max. And we've seen some dumb ones. Like we've seen some where the person's had alcohol for confidence.
If you want some general speech advice from someone who
has filmed
analyzes very acutely wedding speeches for a living, only have max 3 drinks before, depending on your size. If you're a small person, maybe 1.5 to 2. Yeah. And have something prepared, bullet points, have something written out, even if you don't go by it. Yep. The worst speeches are the ones where they go up and say, I'll wing it. And if you're not exceptional at that, some people can do it. 99% of people can't do it. Don't wing it. Have something prepared. The worst ones are when they go up there and they just kind of stumble over their words and they talk in circles and they don't know where they end off, and then they just kind of end all of a sudden.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, your speech is going to be good because you know the person, you have things to say. You just you can't put yourself in a position where you're going to choke.
And I don't want there to be this understanding based on this one controversial wedding opinion that people hate speeches, because we see people who they're not family, they're not immediate family, but we've seen people cry at good toasts, like just like 20-something-year-old, probably cousin or friend who's been like in tears because of good wedding toasts. So I don't want it to get across at all that you're like self-conscious about giving a speech because you think nobody wants to hear it, or having speeches at your wedding because nobody wants to hear it. This person is one. This is one person. And I would venture to say that the amount of people who don't like speeches, people probably are a little indifferent maybe. Mm-hmm. They don't know if they really want to sit down and listen to speeches. But if you keep them like effective and brief, if you keep your speeches, you give people a cap. You say you have 5 minutes max, and then then we have to move on. You give people a cap, and then you make sure that your bridal party is not getting too drunk beforehand, so that they are able to speak. Right. Like nobody's gonna be too mad. You're giving them a free meal. You've invited them to celebrate with you. If they don't want to celebrate with you by hearing really nice things that somebody has to say about you, they can go. They can leave.
With that being said, I do have a couple thoughts on toast that do align with what this person said a little bit.
Let's hear them. Put your dukes up.
Your speech should be like less than 3 minutes.
Okay.
It should be to the point. You should have something to say, and I feel like it should only contain one story, because the story is relevant to everyone. If the story isn't super funny or super impactful, which most of them usually aren't, then the only person who cares are the characters in the story. And if you do too much of that, people aren't going to like your speech as much as someone else's. Yeah. With that being said, if you think it's important to say it. 100%. I support anyone who says whatever they need to say during toasts. But if you want to give a good speech that has general appeal, keep the stories to a minimum. Make sure they have a point, and just like maybe take the message of your story and just say that directly.
Yeah. Give, and if you're going to tell a story, give context. Give good context.
Yeah, good context.
So that the other people feel like they've been there. Because we definitely have heard, it was like a recent-ish wedding. I don't even want to say their names.
Don't say their names.
Okay.
I just magically know which one Katie was talking about. All right.
Okay, but that one, the bride and her maid of honor, they the maid of honor was giving her speech, and she just had like a lot of stories that only the two of them were laughing at.
Yeah.
And as a vendor, as the day of friend, the supporting character in getting them through their wedding day, I was happy they were having a good time. But if I were a guest, I'd be like twiddling my thumbs, kind of waiting for all the inside stories to be done. So like, yeah, there is definitely a way you can write your speech, but also their speech was like no more than 5 to 7 minutes. It was a longer speech, but like still, you get food, you're given a good time. Like, they basically put on a party for you to attend. The least you can do is be excited for people who are throwing this party for themselves, but also for you to be there.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.